Really quick, everybody, this entire video will be timestamped, so if you don't want to watch holding and just get straight into a different topic, please check the pinned comment or the little red bar right down below you. Again, this entire video will be timestamped, and I'd appreciate you guys watching whatever part that you'd like to. If you're sticking around, guys, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to our complete betting guide for UFC 290. I am feeling very good about this card. Last week was an absolute disaster for so many people. This week, I'm feeling very, very good about it. While the odds are a little bit touchy still, we can have some nice picks that I'm feeling incredible about. Guys, again, timestamps are there if you'd like to use them. Let's start off with the confident picks of the card. The first confident pick on the card will be Cameron Simon taking on Terrence Mitchell. Cameron Simon, honestly, the 5-1 favorite makes complete sense to me. Cameron Simon, while he is only 22 years old, his striking actually seems like he can be one of these guys who has like a beautiful, beautiful future in the UFC. He is very good. The only thing that I do worry about is the amount of times that he will foul his opponent, and that could possibly lead to a draw or losing a decision. So if you're thinking about it, if this guy cheats a lot, if you have like Jason Herzog as the ref, somebody who actually takes points away, maybe you could put a couple dollars on a draw now that I'm thinking about it. But I do think Cameron Simon will be the better fighter. This fight will be standing. He'll be able to pick Terrence Mitchell apart. I am very high on this guy. I think he's great, and I'm very confident in him to win this fight. The next confident pick, guys, is a sad confident pick, and that is going to be Niko Price. I will be cheering for Robbie Lawler to win. I really want Robbie Lawler to win. He's one of my favorite fighters ever, but Niko Price, man, he has the right style to take on a guy like Robbie Lawler, and this pick is mostly because Robbie Lawler, at his 41 years of age, he is a shell of what he once was, and Niko Price can certainly put on the same pace that Bryan Barberena just did and potentially finish Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler is not the same guy at all. His only win in his last 5 is against a Nick Diaz who came in there out of shape and quit. Anybody would have beat Nick Diaz on that night, but the other one you have Ben Askren, which make of that what you will, but even that, you're searching around 4 years ago. This guy is so out of his prime. It is insane. He needs to retire, and this is also his last fight, so how hungry is he really going to be? Very confident Niko Price to win this fight. And the last confident pick I have for you guys is Jalen Turner. Now, as I look at all these fights here, of course, the odds are, they're pretty touchy, so you'll have to come up with some parlays, but man, I'm not so high on Dan Hooker anymore. He got a win in his last fight, but that's against Claudio Puelles, and Puelles was just scooting his butt across the mat, and it was a very embarrassing performance. Dan Hooker, after the fight with Dustin Poirier, I'm on the train that Dustin Poirier took a little bit of his soul. He's not as tough as he once was, and Jalen Turner is a guy who is on a tear and could potentially have a strong future in the division. I feel like Jalen Turner will be able to keep him at bay with his strikes, and while they do have the same amount of reach, Jalen Turner will be taller. He will use his range better than Dan Hooker. He'll pick him apart, possibly find a finish. Very confident in Jalen Turner. This is a very, very good matchup for him. Now, guys, I do want to talk about some fights that you should avoid. Now, the first fight I do think you should avoid is Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Is Robert Whittaker the best fighter in the division? Arguably, yes. Is Robert Whittaker better than Dricus du Plessis? Does he have a better skill set? All of those are absolutely yes. However, Dricus du Plessis, a lot of the MMA community is constantly making fun of this guy for his lack of cardio, lack of skills, whatever it may be. I think it's over-exaggerated, and I don't think he's the best fighter, okay? I don't know if he necessarily deserves his number 6 spot. That's where I'm at with him, but I don't think he sucks. The point is, in his fights, no matter where he's at in the fights, this dude finds a way to get ahead. He finds a way to pull it off. He finds a way to win. He's 19-2, had some great wins with showing that he has an insane amount of heart. He has a great chin. While he does look like he's gassing, he has shown that he hasn't gassed. I think Robert Whittaker should do what he wants to Dricus du Plessis in this fight. I think Robert Whittaker is absolutely the better fighter. However, I don't like the fact that Dricus always finds a way to win so far. I believe Robert Whittaker will win this fight, but I am staying far away from this one on the betting lines just because Dricus du Plessis has that tendency to win. The last fight I think you guys should stay away from is Moreno versus Pantoja, because I do not know who is going to win this fight. I'm leaning towards Brandon Moreno. I believe he is infinitely a better fighter. If you guys didn't know, these two fought already twice, and Pantoja ended up getting the wins over Moreno and looked very good doing it. Brandon Moreno, obviously the champion. He's proved himself in the division. He is a completely reinvented fighter, and he's probably, in my opinion, he's better than Pantoja. But every once in a while, you run into these guys and they just have your number. You don't know what Brandon Moreno is going to be like mentally in there, and will he have you a little bit of a step behind because he's worrying like, hey, you know what? I can't lose this fight again. I can't lose to him a third fight. I'm not going to get another fourth opportunity. Stuff like that he could be thinking about. And he could lose because of that. We don't know how Brandon Moreno is going to approach this. Pantoja just might have his number. While I think Brandon Moreno is the better fighter, I'm not confident that he's going to get over a guy who already beat him twice. That's why I believe you should stay away from this fight. Let's talk lock of the week, guys. Lock of the week is going to be Alexander Volkanovski. I've bounced around a lot when I make you this prediction. I've talked about it in 2 videos on the channel, so I won't go too in depth with it. The point being, though, Alexander Volkanovski is looking better and better every single time we see him. Every single time he fights somebody, whether it's Islam Makhachev's ground game. Oh, Islam gets him to the ground, he's going to submit him. Brian Ortega. Oh, you never know. Brian Ortega could catch you with the triangle. He did. Doesn't matter. Oh, Max Holloway could catch him with the volume. Alexander Volkanovski outvolleyed him. This guy does everything better, and I am absolutely done doubting him. We're doing the exact same thing. Maybe the Korean Zombie could get in and box them a little bit, make the fight a little bit dirty, come out and win. Yeah, we're saying the same things. Yair Rodríguez, best kicker in the UFC. What if he catches Volkanovski with a head kick? I don't care anymore. I don't care. I'm done doubting this dude and his capabilities. I think he's fantastic. I think he is the greatest fighter of all time. While he is 34 years old, he has shown no signs of slowing down. Yair Rodríguez does not have the finishing instincts needed to beat a guy like Alexander Volkanovski. I believe Alexander Volkanovski will only have problems if he goes up the 155-pound division and fights Dustin Poirier. If it's anybody other than Poirier, I'm picking Alexander Volkanovski. I'm done doubting this guy. I'm done saying that oh my God, well, this could happen, that could happen. Yair kicks him in the head. Volkanovski will eat it and beat him up. That is my prediction. Alexander Volkanovski, lock of the week. Now, guys, let's talk about what I'm going to bet on. I actually have the Betway screen open for you here, and I actually love the odds that Betway does, and it always has. This is what I always talk about on the channel, and a couple of you have said when I was making my video saying, I'm going to bet this round and a half, I'm going to bet this round and a half. Betway typically has these bets every single weekend, so my favorite bets to make are the ones that go over 1.5 rounds. So I'm going to look into that first because, of course, they don't have it on screen right now, but I will tell you what fights I am going to be booking to go over 1 round and a half. Typically, what I do is I bet them all separately, and then I also parlay 2 or 3 together, and I parlay all of them together. More often than not, they hit. So that's my favorite. I want to put Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menifield over round and a half, but I don't know because the potential for a finish is there. Same thing with Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price. I might just do these together just because, just maybe it'll hit. But the fights that I do believe is going to go over 1 round and a half is Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodríguez, Brandon Moreno versus Alejandro Pantoja, Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Not Jalen Turner. I'm going to stay away from that one. Of course, Denise Gomez. That one's going to go over a round and a half. I'm going to put all of those for over 1.5 rounds. That's typically what I bet the most on, guys. I don't like just money line bets. That's how I make my most money, is going over 1.5 rounds. So those are what I'm going to do for sure. Volk, Moreno, Whittaker, Yasmin, maybe Robbie Lawler. Maybe Robbie Lawler. I don't know. That's a tough one. I'll think about it. But let's see, like, if... These are horrible odds. So if I'm going to take, like, my confident picks, I'm going to take Alexander Volkanovski. Let's take Jalen Turner. Bo Nickel, that's no point. That's going to do absolutely nothing for you. I'm going to take Nico Price, Cameron Simon. Those are really guys that I feel good about, and that's only plus 280. I really like that, though. So, like, if I were to put $20 on it, I get $56. I don't mind that, actually, because I am very confident in all of these guys winning. What I'm also going to end up doing is taking all of these fighters, okay? Let's say I want to bet on Cameron Simon. I'm going to parlay it with the women fight to go over 1.5 rounds. The odds aren't good this week, but typically they would put you just about double, something like that. So I feel more comfortable doing that. So I'll probably find guys like Cameron Simon, Nico Price I'll do together. Nico Price and Jalen Turner I might do together. And Brandon Moreno. Maybe I'll put some money on Brandon Moreno because the odds are not too bad. I don't like Robert Whittaker. Something's telling me to stay away from that fight. That's why I was on the stay away from this fight. But Alexander Volkanovski, lock of the week. I'm definitely going to be doing Alexander Volkanovski and Denise Gomez to go over 1.5 rounds. And while the odds for that won't be so good, I believe that is the most likely scenario. So that's where I'm going to keep going with this fight. There's not too much you can do, but there's a lot of safety on this card, I believe, unless he gets something like last week. Could you imagine Volkanovski gets murdered, Whittaker gets murdered, Robbie Lawler gets a knockout and looks the best he's ever looked, Cameron Simon gets finished? Could you just imagine? That would be absolutely insane. But I am going to stay and parlay the 1.5 rounds, guys. If you don't use Betway typically has those every week. Not every single week, but most weeks they do. So that's what I'm going to be doing this week, guys. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, comment down below what you will be betting and what did you think about my picks down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you are new here and you enjoy the content, please consider hitting the like button. It will help out the channel a ton. And subscribe if you are brand new if you'd like to continue watching the Clenbat channel. There'll be 2 videos on screen for you right now. Check them out, guys. I think they are pretty great. I will either see you there, guys, or in the next video. Take care.